Today, on Be Something Wonderful, it's always been you, my incredible manifesting SP story. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Here we are in Cape Town, South Africa. A cloudy day. You can see the clouds are covering Table Mountain behind me. I want to talk about an email that I got from a subscriber who I've already talked to you about in 2 videos that are on the SP, or the specific person playlist. I have left a link to those 2 videos in the comment section, and also there'll be a link to the playlist. I want to talk about this because when we talked about, she had some powerful realizations, and as I noted in those 2 previous videos, she's a writer. So the way she expressed herself was beautiful. The idea about fulfillment, her realizations and her epiphanies on her I Am-ness, all were powerful lessons that we wrapped a lesson around her realizations. And she heard from her SP after 10 years of no contact. 10 years of no contact, she heard from her SP. Here is her follow-up to the story. Right, and it's powerful, things that she had not yet talked about in her 3rd email. And hear this, she is with her SP, living in a city that she always wanted to live in from childhood, that her SP happened to be living in. This is big today. We're going to unpack it like we never have before. And it's always been you, my incredible SP story. I'm going to tell you the significance of those words, because this is when she had her realization that when she says it's always been you, that was her I am, her 3D personality saying to her I am, it's always been you. Her sort of merging with that realization that everything is within her, that there's only one story, and it's the I am story. That's the significance. It's always been you. It's always been I am. It's always been the one story. But as she aligned with that, as she embodied that, as she became that higher ideal, her SP, her specific person, actually said those exact words to her when they got back together. This is powerful. I'm going to show you how this all happened. The writer who manifested contact with her SP after 10 years. 2 videos in the comment section. I encourage you to watch those. This video stands on its own, but it will also give you more context, more background for some of the realizations that we're going to go over here. But you don't need them, but you can watch them. I knew that he was my choice, and it has always been him. So this is back when she was having these realizations of fulfillment. She had been watching the channel, right? And so she knew this, and she did manifest contact with her. So what she didn't say, what she didn't talk about in those 2 previous emails, is that she had been writing a book for years and had written thousands of words for this book. Thousands of words. But somehow she said in her story that she had been fearful of publishing it. And she didn't know why she wanted to give up on writing the book. And so here's what she said. She deleted the old story, and she essentially deleted the old story, and she was writing and telling a new story, literally and imaginatively. Right? So here's what she wrote. Her old story was me. The me, or the I am, the small me, who was trying to convince herself that she's loved, trying to convince herself that she's whole, that she's complete, right? And she literally deleted that old story and created the new story that she is already, that she's not just loved and fulfilled, that she is love and fulfillment. Hear the difference. The small me trying to convince yourself through affirmations, through imaginal acts, through other processes that you're loved and fulfilled, versus stepping into the knowing as I am that I am, that you are fulfillment and that you are love. You are that state of being. You're not merely fulfilled and loved, although you are, but you are fulfillment itself. You are love itself. So this is what she says. I want to get to this point because this is big. She's basically deleting the old story and writing a new one, but not just imaginatively, but literally in this case, because she's a writer and she had been writing a book for years. And she had been telling her old story. She says, I've been working on my book for years. I wrote thousands of pages until I realized that I didn't want to publish it. That realization scared me so much because I spent so much time on it. So she realizes during this process, and you'll see the two other videos, right? Remember, time's irrelevant, but it was all happening to her and through her at once, right? She had been working on her book for years, wrote thousands of pages about love, about fulfillment, about finding that, right? But it was, keep in mind, she was really telling her old story. It was coming from the Mary, the small Mary, the Mary who wanted to write that affirm that she's loved and fulfilled. But it wasn't coming from the merging of Mary with her I am, with I am that, and writing from fulfillment and writing from love itself. Writing from being love, writing from being fulfillment itself, right? I am that. So in the meantime, I assumed my SP had his own life. So remember, she manifested contact, incredible, after 10 years. But still, she was assuming, well, I got contact, but he has his own life now. He lives in a city far away, right? She didn't know what city. Right, this is it. Remember that she's now living with him in the city that she always wanted to live in her childhood. That her SV I'm getting chills just saying this. That her SV happened to be living in, right? So all of this was her old story. Remember, she's a writer. So not only literally was she writing her old story, imaginatively she was in her old story, in the old script, trying to imagine a new story, trying to imagine that she's loved and fulfilled and with her SP, but not stepping into that conviction, not stepping into that absoluteness that you are fulfillment, you are love. You do not have to seek it, you are it. That's the power of I am. Right? It was like a client this morning that said, Tom, I really want to live in a posh apartment. Is that okay? I go, well, of course, your I am is posh. Where else would your I am live but in a posh apartment? And there's nothing that limits you. Don't feel bad about anything. You are that God's working through you and as you, and it was the Father's good pleasure to give you everything, give you the kingdom, right? So let's hit this. It's such a cool story. As I was trying to figure out the reason behind my giving up, remember, she didn't want to publish the book. Thousands of pages, wanted to stop writing it. Did not want to publish it. It scared her. So she was saying, as I was trying, and listen to the word she's using, giving up on my novel. I managed to give myself a break and simply take long walks. For a few days in a row, I had your video suggested on YouTube. This is back when she found the channel. I felt a strong urge to click on one of them, and that's how I began listening to your beautiful teachings. Thank you. And I think I said that before. I'm glad you found it. But here's her epiphany, right? Not due to the channel necessarily, due to her connection with her I am, due to her knowing that there's a higher, aspiring to her higher self, right? The novel was written. Remember she was saying here, the novel was written by Mary, the old identity, right? That to her, love or wish fulfilled with her SP was like a fairy tale. She was saying love felt like a fairy tale when she was writing that novel. Thousands of pages she was writing about love, but it didn't feel real to her. It felt like she wanted to be loved, wanted to be fulfilled, right? Was affirming that, but it didn't feel real. Here she says it. The novel was written by Mary. And she said it was Mary, the identity that helped her realize who I am. So she knows Mary was an integral part of her aspiring to that her truer identity as I am, right? They merged. But the novel was written by Mary, the old identity, that to her love, to Mary, love, wish fulfilled with her SP, felt like a fairy tale. So what did she do? Hear this. This is so powerful. This is going to give you tingles. She opened the file with her novel in it, closed it, and deleted it. Years of writing, thousands of pages, deleted the entire novel. Deleted the old story. Ooh, tingles here, guys. Tingles, right? Literally deleted the old story. Are you hearing this? This is powerful, right? So deleted it. It's gone. The old story now. All that, quote, work, right? Because look at what, this is the reason we hold on. Hear this. This is the reason we hold on to old scripts, old realities, old versions of ourselves. We're invested in it. And we feel like we got to hang on to that. We can't, we're not taking Paul's advice in Scripture when Paul says, I die daily. You're not dying to your old self. You're hanging on to parts of it. You want to keep parts of the script and get rid of others. You want to manipulate reality. You want to manipulate 3D. You want to manipulate whatever. Your own 3D self. You want to manipulate that horizontal reality to try to get it right. It's supposed to be that. It's that less than 1%. Each horizontal reality has its own script, its own fate. Don't try to change any of that. Instead, move vertically within to the horizontal experience of your choice. And this is what she did. Closed it and deleted it. Right after deleting it, this is her words, thousands of pages, keep in mind, I opened Word. In other words, Word. In other words, Word. You know, the Microsoft Word, so you can write, right? So you can write it. The word processing, the program, Word. And the most beautiful, inspiring story of love and fulfillment came out of me. I like it. I like that she said I opened Word. The Word, you know, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God and the Word was God. Right? I mean, think about this, all the parallels here. And the most beautiful, inspiring story of love and fulfillment came out of me. Wow. Do you see it? It poured out of her. That I am-ness poured out of her. Her true story of I am that I am. The words of God to Moses. Who shall I send? Sent me to you. I sent you to just tell them I am. I am that I am, right? The I am that is not only loved and fulfilled, hear this, because we're always looking to be loved and fulfilled. It's not only the I am that is not only loved and fulfilled, but is love and is fulfillment, right? And not the old story of Mary trying to imagine and affirm and feel she's loved and fulfilled. Do you see it? That old story was deleted. It was erased. It was gone. It exists. Right? Think of it this way. It went back into potential. That story still can potentially be told, but she's not telling it anymore. Right? And so instead of the old Mary, the small me, trying to imagine, affirm, and feel she's loved and fulfilled, but the I am identity and self-concept of love and fulfillment itself. Right? The old reality, the only reality, the ideal assumption itself. So instead of that old story, of the me trying to imagine, affirm, and feel I'm loved and I'm fulfilled, she moved to the I am identity and the self-concept of love and fulfillment itself. The only state of being there is. The only reality, the ideal assumption. And then she said, Tom, I finished my book in 2 weeks. She transcended time. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, wrote a new book, a new story. Literally. Right? That story was written anyway. That's the whole meaning of the script. The script is written. All realities exist. She was just putting it it was just coming through her now. That story was written already. That reality was in her. That book was already within her. Right? Her true story was already within her. Right? And now it's about to be published. Now she's going to publish it. There's no resistance to it. This is her story. This is her true story. And now she said she might even send me a copy of the book. And I think I told you on a previous video, that subscriber that I spoke to about a week ago sent me a wedding invitation. In July, she's getting married. This is what's going on, guys. This is what we're talking about. So I had contact with my SP, remember, after 10 years. And here comes not her, but here comes the best part. This is her telling the story. This is what she considers the best part. Only then did I realize that I had written myself into the role of I am, that I am, and who is currently experiencing my ideal relationship with the person I have loved since we first met. So she wrote her story was about this love of her life, living in that ideal city that she imagined since childhood. Wrote the book, wrote the story, and now it's a manifested reality. She is living that physically. She is knowing experientially what she already knew within her. Remember, you can't desire anything unless it's already within you. You can't imagine, think, or write any stories unless that story is within you. I'm living in the city that has been calling me since childhood. And he's been living there all this time. Wow! Our relationship's full of love, fun, and laughter. In other words, our relationship mirrors Source. Source is all fun, all love, and all laughter. She says it's so easy and natural. Well, Source, everything's easy and natural. It's Source. What else is to worry about? You're the source of heaven and earth. Right? There's nothing to worry about, right? He said this to me, and here's the thing. Remember this quote, it always has been you. Well, remember, she said that to herself as she moved into her I Am-ness, right? In other words, she said to her I am, the great I am within her, it's always been you. Then, this is what her love of her life said back to her. It's always been you. Guys, this is her email. These are her words. This is amazing. It's always been you. The exact words she said to herself in her words, when I finally chose to be that I am. Her wording here. It's the same words, when I finally chose to be. Chose. Everything is choose. Everything is choice. Right? You're choosing your reality. When I finally chose to be that I am. Do you hear a wording here? When I chose to be that I am, not the I am that needs to affirm to be fulfilled and loved, but the I am that's already fulfillment, that's already love, that's already whole, that's already living the miracle and the magic of her life. That's powerful. She goes, I finally chose to be that I am, the walking fulfillment. In previous video, we talked about her talking about walking as fulfillment. You can enjoy that. That goes by the name Mary. Walking fulfillment that goes by the name Mary. You can tell I'm pretty excited about this. Now I'm just eternally excited for the endless perfect unfolding. Her words again. Her story went from trying to convince the small me, the small Mary, that she's loved and fulfilled, right, based on conditions in the future, to the I am, right, Mary merging with her I am, to the conviction, from trying to convince to the actual conviction, from trying to conjure a 3D state of convincing or confidence to the absolute state of I am, the conviction and absolute state of being that I am, the end the story, right? You know how that expression, well, end the story. That's what we mean. That's what that extension, the end the story. That is the story. She didn't give up in resignation, but gave upwards and surrendered to her higher story or her true reality. So she never gave up anything. It says she wanted to give up. She didn't give up. She surrendered to that I Am-ness. She surrendered to the only story, the one and only story of fulfillment, right? She finished it in 2 weeks. The script is written. And then expressed it through her as I am. It always has been you, my incredible SP manifesting story, and that is incredible. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for joining our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, where you can join. Thank you for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin. And just go to our website anytime for all that information and more at tomkearin.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. Creators, we'll see you soon.